This is Isaiah Austin, who played college basketball for the Baylor Bears between the 2012 and 2014 season. After 2 seasons with Baylor, he decides to enter the NBA draft in 2014 and was projected to be a high lottery pick. Unfortunately, a few days before the NBA draft, he was diagnosed with Marfan Syndrome, and doctors said he could possibly never play basketball professionally ever again. His story really sticks out to me for multiple reasons. 2013 was the first year I started watching college basketball, along with the story of being able to dream again, which I supported by buying a t-shirt and even his book. Fast forward 2 years later, on November 30th of 2016, Isaiah Austin was medically cleared to play professional basketball and is able to chase his dreams of playing in the NBA. So the question's up in the air. What team is Isaiah Austin going to be playing for in the NBA? If he decides to even play in the NBA, there's always overseas basketball. But here are 5 teams in the NBA that would be a perfect fit for Isaiah Austin, this year or next year, depending on what teams offer him a contract. Let's start off first with the Boston Celtics. A few seasons ago, the Boston Celtics organization allowed Isaiah Austin to come on the court and be honored by the organization, along with being able to get appreciated by the fans there, even giving him his own framed jersey as a Celtic, which would make you believe that him and the organization are on speaking terms and they can respect each other. If that's not a hint enough, if we just take a look at the roster is a perfect fit for Isaiah Austin to start or come off the bench. Slide Al Horford to his natural spot as a power forward, and there you go. I'm not saying that he's going to immediately make this team a whole lot better. This team's already good. They're in the Eastern Conference. They're a very young team, and adding another core young piece to that team will only help them improve in the future. And if he's able to play like he did in college, he can easily replace Kelly Olynyk and Tyler Zeller. I'm sure Boston fans would love to have Isaiah Austin, considering they think they could get everyone in free agency. Well, here's your chance. Sign Isaiah Austin. Give him a chance. And speaking of teams that love to think they could sign everyone in free agency, let's talk about the Lakers, another team that Isaiah Austin is familiar with, and I believe he was able to be honored during one of the games as well. More importantly, the Lakers roster is very, very young. There's a theme so far with the teams mentioned, and all the teams mentioned will most likely have a hole at some point at the center spot. I mean, just looking at the Lakers roster, they overpaid a few veterans such as Timothy Mozgov and Luol Deng, and Mozgov, he's not performing so well with the Lakers. I mean, obviously Isaiah Austin could come in there and fill up that backup role or even come off the bench somewhere. I don't think in any situation they are going to be asking Isaiah Austin to be that starter right away. Obviously, he hasn't played professional basketball in a few years, so he may be a little bit rusty. Like I said, if he's able to play anywhere near the level he played in college, he'll be just fine within the NBA. Not only that, the Lakers don't have a stretch big. It seems like the NBA has gone to these stretch big type players. They have Julius Randle, who's turning out pretty nicely, Larry Nance Jr. as well. So I feel like Isaiah Austin would be a pretty solid pick for this Lakers team, because in college he shot the occasional three, and although the three-point line is shorter in college basketball, a few three-pointers in the NBA would most likely be able to translate. He has a nice mid-range game, and he could get it down to the paint. Moving on to the next team, the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks on paper should not be doing as bad as they are. Dirk Nowitzki has been out for the beginning of the season, and because of this, the Dallas Mavericks are one of the worst teams in the NBA as of right now. They still have time to turn it around. So since Dallas keeps on striking out on these big-name free agents, might as well just start the rebuild. I mean, they're one of the older teams in the league. Like, I could look at that roster and say, all right, they got A.J. Hammonds and Justin Anderson. Those are the relatively younger guys, and obviously Seth Curry as well, but their roster is filled with a bunch of older players, and who knows how long Dirk is going to be able to play with this said team. If he's going to retire after this season, play a few more, you just never know with Dirk, but he's really a productive player for this Mavericks team, and once he's gone, they got to start thinking about the future, and Isaiah Austin could be that future at that center spot for the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks just need youth. That's really what they need. They need someone as consistent as Dirk Nowitzki was in the past seasons, and they haven't been able to find that with Harrison Barnes. I know Mark Cuban said he does not want to tank this season. You're going to need to do some major changes in the offseason or at trade deadline to try to help this team do better than what it is. And speaking of other dysfunctional teams within the NBA, the New Orleans Pelicans could be a possible landing spot for Isaiah Austin as well. This team is very similar to the Mavericks, other than the fact that they're a younger group of guys rather than the Mavericks' older group of guys. They don't have the best center in the NBA, and mind you, they have Anthony Davis. They love sliding Anthony Davis to that power forward center's position, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But Omer Asik, who once had a big hefty contract with them, has a few years left, and he could easily be replaced with a guy like Isaiah Austin, because they do not have any young upcoming center on their roster right now. Their power forward spot is set for the future as long as Anthony Davis is there, but that shouldn't give the Pelicans an excuse to just find the slowest big man and overpay him just to grab boards, to do what Omer Asik does or Alexa Aginsa does. So it really boggles me that the Pelicans haven't fixed that spot. They haven't fixed their entire team either. I mean, Drew Holiday is expiring, Tyreek Evans is expiring, they're signing some questionable guys like Solomon Hill. As of right now, this organization just doesn't know how to build around Anthony Davis, and it's pretty sad considering he signed a hefty 5-year max deal. Maybe once Isaiah Austin emerges into the league, he could take some of that pressure off of Anthony Davis, because as of right now, he's the focal point of that team. They need to do something in free agency. They need to trade a few players here and there. They need a lot of work done if they want to continue to try to make it to the playoffs, because this year it's not looking so hot. I know they have injuries. They need to come back healthy from that, but best of luck to Anthony Davis, and hey, maybe Isaiah Austin can find a home in New Orleans there to help him out. And last but not least, the final team I feel like would be a perfect destination for Isaiah Austin is the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are in a weird position because of Chris Bosh's health. Pat Riley says Chris Bosh's playing time with the Heat is most likely over. We haven't seen Chris Bosh at all this season, and who knows if we will in a Heat jersey. But because of this big hole at that power forward position, Isaiah Austin would be a perfect fit for this team, just like the rest of these 4 other teams I mentioned previously, because they do not have a center. They literally do not have a center besides Hassan Whiteside. Hassan Whiteside is legit the only center. They got power forwards such as Willie Reed and Udonis Haslem playing that center position and sliding in and out. The Heat need some young talent. I mean, they already got some young talent in Dion Waiters, Josh Richardson, Justice Winslow, but might as well continue to add to it in case the record just doesn't look that good on paper as you would like it this year. Imagine Isaiah Austin and Hassan Whiteside. That'd be a pretty good combo if I do say so myself. But what do you guys think? Do you feel like Isaiah Austin will be able to make it to the NBA this year or the next and be able to play on one of these 5 teams or a different team? He has the talent, he's medically cleared to do so, or will he just go play overseas for a few years to prove his worth for NBA teams? With that said, be sure to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy, along with checking out some of my other works as well, and sharing the videos that help my channel grow. And if you want to go up above and beyond, support my Patreon so I can continue to make these artistic stylized videos on a more consistent basis. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.